Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at how to add custom armor models as well as single armor model files, pieces, to Minecraft 1.20.1 Forge as well as 1.21.1 neoforge. First of all, you want to ensure that your project's model identifier is equal to the name of the file you'll be naming it. So in this case, we want it to be named Frozen Blaze Armor Model as well as Wizard Hat Model. Afterwards, you want to export these files to the correct folder. So you go to File, Export Java Entity. Then you go to your destination, your project. Go to Sources, Main, Java, Net, your package name, group name. Then you go to Item, or create a new folder named Armor. Create yet another folder named Client. Create yet another folder. Get another folder named Model. Enter this one and save your file there. This is for both. Afterwards, you want to save the texture. You have two ways here. Either if you already saved it somewhere, you can show in File Explorer, copy it, go back to your tutorial, to your models, and import it. See the textures here. And if you haven't saved it somewhere, you can go click on this disk symbol and click on the folder you want it to be in. This in case is the exact same we wanted. And then we click on Save. So it's now, if you go here, it's in here. Now, what you want to do next is copy a few files over. That includes inside of Armor, the abstract Armor item, which handles the rendering extension in this path, but we will look at this in a second, as well as a few things in client. For one, that would be the armor model. The armor model that handles yet the other part that is rendering related, adding the left boot and the right boot directly to this one model instead of having to do it in two models as vanilla does it, as well as your two armor models, which need a few fixes, like that would be remove the generic and make it extend armor model. Then you can delete basically all of this over here. This can go, you super the root and ignore the rest. This can go, you add the package, set package name too. This has to stay the same because this is where the actual model is saved in with all the texture positions and the cube positions, so on. You can also delete the setup animation and render-to-buffer methods. So at the end, your class should look something like this. The class, its constructor, and then nothing else but a simple create body layer method. The same goes for the wizard head model. You delete it. And delete all of this. Delete all of this. And go super root. This can stay the same and the rest can be deleted. Then we clear all the unnecessary imports, as well as this import apparently. Now you have the models set up, but we'll have to register them soon. Next, in the provider class, you have these two models. Feel free to pause the video and copy them piece by piece, or I'll be linking them, the Git and Gist in the description, so you can just copy it from there. Now, after we've done this, we create new classes, one for each armor item you have. In this case, we would be Frozen Blaze armor item, which just extends the abstract armor item. You should be able to reduce all of these armor material, use your custom armor material. I will just, for simplicity, use diamond. The type must stay as part of as a parameter to the constructor, but the properties mustn't. So new properties. As usual, you can define some things here like rarity, for example, rarity.rare. That would make it visible blue, as well as the single piece armor model. Under the H doesn't want to get capitalized. Extends abstract. Now it thinks I want to have it expand A for some reason, but not my idea. Armor material for this would be leather. You of course use your own, and the properties will just be epic. After this, we'll take a deeper look into abstract armor mod item, which shows these two methods. With custom model defines that this item, or this armor should use a custom armor model, and create model provider provides the model to the next method initialize client, which actually handles getting the armor model with overriding this property provided the get model and changing a few things like if it's crouching, riding, young, or putting the visible part. Now, what you want to do in your own model provider, in your own item classes, is with custom model return true and create model provider return new simple model provider with your armor model. In this case, this is the Frozen Blaze armor model, : create body layer, and Frozen Blaze armor model, : new. And that's what you want to do this the same in this class with custom model return true and create model provider return new simple model provider with wizard head armor wizard head model : create body layer and wizard head model : new. Now this is not all we have inside of the abstract armor item. There is one more thing that is to be noticed. There's a make custom texture location because you need to override the texture location of your model. In this case, get armor texture should be an extension of the iForge item class. You just make custom texture location. You can also save this string private static final string texture location up here with make custom texture location. Namespace, you put in your mod ID, and ID is just the name of the texture. In this case, for the Frozen Blaze, it would be Frozen Blaze. Ignore the PNG. The make custom texture location already adds the .png to the location, so it's not needed here. Frozen Blaze is therefore the parameter you want to put in here. And now get armor texture. You just return texture location. This is all you need to do to register custom texture for your item. Now we are not done yet because, well, weren't able to test it yet because we need to first of all create a texture here. Private static, not sealed for God's sake. Static final string texture location is equal to make custom texture. Again, you put your mod ID in here as well as the texture. In this case, wizard head. Yes, I noticed, but I will just rename this for now because model is not necessary as it is in a models pub. And you return it back down again. Armor texture. Of course, you can have multiple textures depending on what item stack you're on, the entity, slot, and type, which I don't know what that is. What is this type? What the heck? Oh, let me guess. Type is either Okay. Okay, this can either be overlay or null. You can mostly ignore this string type parameter, but you can change the armor texture depending on the stack, the entity, and the slot the armor is rendered in. So that's neat. Next, we want to take a look at how to actually create an custom armor to the register to the registry. And for that, we'll be looking at custom items, not the custom item, mod items, so we don't need. And we want to create a map of type armor item.type, as well as registry object, and then frozen place armor item. That's how to register an entire armor at once. Just create abstract armor item, then create registry, inserting the registry, frozen place as the base name, as well as, what do we need more? Tells you to put a function of armored item.type and t creator, which is, if you look at it, just nothing else than just the constructor of frozen place armor item. So you can just put frozen place armor item : new, and it will instantly suggest it. Now, if you have a single piece item, you don't need to create a map for it because, well, it's a single piece. You don't need to map anything of it. So you can just go registry object, wizard head armor item, wizard head is equal to registry.register wizard head and wizard head item : new. If this is wrong, you look at the constructor because there's probably something wrong. Yes, because you can inline this now because you only have one type dot type.helmet is what you want because it's a helmet. Use whatever type you need, of course. And therefore now mod item should not be having any issues. And you should be able to just go into the game and check. And therefore we are now in the game. Give myself the frozen place boots. We take a look, and as you can see, the module is working. Now, not only the boots, we should also test chest plate, for example. That is also working. The helmet, not you. The helmet is also working. And the leggings is also working. Full armor with custom model, fully working. Now the wizard hat, that should also be working. Nice, it's also working. So you see, creating a single armor piece is not even that difficult. You just put in a single piece and it works. But you also need to ensure that you have all the other cubes still enabled. Otherwise, it will definitely crash. It will not work. So just add all these groups to your project and it will work. The same is here. Ensure that these the pivots of all these things are exactly as they are here. There will be a link to the vanilla model base class, so you can just extend that and it will have all the names as well as the pivot points pre-installed, so you don't have to do it yourself. And now to the neoforge part. First of all, you are just going to copy everything we had in the forge tutorial from before, and we have to fix a few issues. First of all, in the mod items class, registry objects have been replaced with deferred items. Also, you have to use deferred registered items and use deferred registered create items with the string and mod ID, but if you followed Cope and Joe's tutorials on custom items in 1.20.1, you will be able to do this. Now, adding this will automatically fix this, but this is not happy. We need to fix this as well. Deferred item here, deferred registered dot. No, we need to first of all delete all of these. Going back down, deferred registered dot items registry. No, this works. This is resource location not from namespace and path, returning not a string, but a resource location. That so you remove the .to string. Furthermore, this we'll have to move into in an event. Therefore, this is now not usable. This can be deleted. This needs to be changed to a holder of type armor material, as well as this has to be converted into a holder of type armor material. And this is it for this. Now, resource location, texture location is this now, and this returns a resource location with removing this armor material layer, and boolean. What was that boolean? Inner layer. As well, the same goes on here. We just copy this and paste it over. Now only need to change this field type to resource location. Then we can delete both of these. Also, an abstract ammo item you have to your create custom create registry thing. You have to add type values has helmet, chestplate, leggings, boots, and body. Which body is only for animals like horses or wolves. Therefore, you have to exclude this by doing if type is not equal to body. Next, we create a new event. We have all of this. This can be deleted. Actually, we keep this. Now, first of all, we need to create a new Java class called armor client extension that extends, or rather implements iClient item extensions. Not create a new class, but now we can go to the abstract ammo item and copy everything that's inside the client item extension in here over to this new class and replace this to the method provider, to the constructor. Now, the only issue we have here is that mod items frozen blaze armor should only be frozen blaze. Actually, that would make a lot of sense if it were armor. So we keep it like this, and this is now all working. Now what you have to do is register the client extensions via the new register client extensions event with a custom helper method that does the armor entire sets of armor at once. Now after we have, I will be uploading a gist so you can look at this if you need more help with it online on the gist in the description. Now after you copied it, you can delete this entire override as well as these two methods as they're no longer necessary. These may create some issues, but we can just delete this and clear these unnecessary imports. Now after we have done all of this and all of this, the only thing you have to do now is go to the armor model, which will have some arrows down here, and convert the 4 floats, which represents the RGBA color, to a single int packed color, and override all of these methods as well. After you've done this, the setup should be correct in order to work. Of course, you have to also copy over your textures, which should be in the same locations as they are in our in the Forge tutorials. And after this is complete, you can run the client. Now what I forgot to do is remove the overrides. That's unfortunate, but well, nothing to be worried about. Only go to the Frozen Blaze armor item and the Wizard Head armor item and remove all these overrides, and then it should work. Now that we have joined the world, I already tested it, with two of the items. That's both the chest plate and the boots. And as you can see, I cannot change my position because I didn't change the controls. 1 second. Now we are back, and as you can see, the model seems to be working, at least those two are, and we can test this as well as give yourself, well, tutorial mod frozen blaze helmet, one of the missing items, as well as the tutorial mod leggings, the last missing one. Now this is working, and the wizard hat item, oh, we have to ensure that it knows what it's talking about. No, this. So you can see, every single model is working. So that is it with this tutorial, and looking at the magnificent